I thought my family rules were normal. Today I found out the disgusting truth. I didn't have strict parents, but there was always one specific rule we were forced to follow no matter what. Every night at 2:33 a.m., cover your ears. As a kid, my mom would just tell me it's just to prevent hearing loss. I believed it at the time. It's easy to manipulate a child and I didn't want to be deafened, so I listened. But I'm 16 now, and this stupid rule no longer makes any sense. My friends laughed at me when I brought it up to them, and I found no info about it online. But there was one thing my parents always told me. They said we had to protect ourselves from hearing the sounds coming from the manhole. I assumed they were talking about the manhole in the middle of the road we lived on. It was a beautiful, small road with just a couple of other houses on it, and the other people down the road also followed this weird rule of covering our ears. At the beginning, I was happy with my life here, but besides love, this town fills my heart with fear. There was always something off about it. I never questioned it, until one night with my earplugs in, I peeked out the window at exactly 2:33 a.m. Nothing. There was nothing on the street. I thought it was stupid. My parents had made me put in these earplugs for no reason. Surely I would have seen something if there was really some sort of dangerous sound we had to protect ourselves from. I was about to go back to sleep when I saw something from the corner of my eye. My heart was racing as I was looking at the manhole lid jumping up and down. I immediately closed the blinds and stared at them for the next few seconds, frozen. I remember not being able to fall asleep that night. All I was thinking about was the manhole. The next day, I decided to confront my parents again about the sounds and the rule, and tell them what I saw. I don't know what I expected, but I do know what I got. Blank stares, that's all. Not a sentence, not a word. I would have rathered them yell at me for being up that late or get mad at me for questioning them, but they said nothing. Since that day, months have passed, years. I still wear earplugs every night. My parents have a different tactic though. They have an alarm set because they stay awake until 3 a.m. I sometimes don't go to sleep either, so every time I heard the alarm from my parents' bedroom, I knew it was time for the sounds, and it always sent shivers down my spine. I usually have trouble falling asleep because of it. One night I stayed up until 2:20 a.m. I got lost in the music. After glancing at my watch, I went downstairs for a glass of water. I was looking out the window while I was waiting for my glass to fill. Again, nothing on the street. Once I turned off the faucet, complete silence started ringing in my ears. The feeling was strange. Silence. So quiet yet so loud. For a moment I thought I was wearing earplugs. Even though the silence was absolute, I wasn't the only one in the room. I screamed when I saw someone sitting at the dining table. It took me some time to realize that the scary silhouette was my father. "Dad?" I stuttered. He didn't turn around. He didn't even acknowledge my existence. "What are you doing here? And where are your earplugs? It's almost 2:33 a.m. I asked, confused. "Sit down," he calmly said. I didn't want to be lectured about staying up late, so I ignored his request. My father let out a sigh and said again, "Sit down." Getting on his bad side was not on my wish list, so this time I listened. "What time is it?" he asked after I took a seat. "Dad, it's almost 2:33 a.m. What are you doing?" I asked again nervously. He didn't answer. Instead, he got up and grabbed a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. I can't drink that," I said. "Sure you can," he calmly replied. After pouring the Tempranillo wine, he said, "We're waiting." I didn't understand at first. "For what?" I rushed to ask. He ignored the question again and took the first sip of his wine. That's when I realized he wanted us to wait to hear the noise. No, we're not doing that. Are you out of your mind?" I yelled. "Have you ever wondered what ruins your life?" he said out of nowhere. I had to think about that sentence for a moment. "Are you truly happy, John?" he continued. This time, I was the one who wasn't answering. I didn't know what to say. The series of unexpected questions left me stunned. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall. "Dad, the sounds are about to start," I finally said timidly. The alarm went off, too scaring the life out of me. That was the last warning before the storm. My father took another sip of his wine. "Son, there are no sounds," he said. I refused to believe that. I was running out of time, so I jumped out of my chair and ran upstairs as fast as I possibly could. I managed to put in the earplugs before 2:33 a.m. My dad wasn't so lucky. I was just standing there in the middle of the room, waiting for the sounds to end. The strange thing is, I don't remember falling asleep. It felt as if the whole night had gotten blown away by the wind. In the morning, I looked for my dad downstairs. I don't know why I expected him to still be there. Someone else was sitting at the table though. It was my mom. She was in tears. "What happened?" I asked, worried. "John, sit down." The same place felt so much different. The wine bottle on the table was still there, and yet everything seemed new. "Your father lost his job yesterday." I was stunned. "I don't know where he is. He's probably trying to get his job back, but I doubt he will succeed," she said and started drinking straight from the bottle. I could feel my face turn red. My palms were sweating as I started breathing rapidly. "Are you okay, honey?" she asked. I looked at her. I started to cry. That's when I realized he wasn't trying to get his job back. He tried to get his life back.